I knew that I had that resilience to take the losses, fall in love with the journey. I was thug motivating. I told them I was inspiring. All I'm telling them is how I'm losing to win. So shit, if that's the case, I might as well be selling that version. What up, though? What up, though? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all make some noise in one time for Cam and the crew.
What made you want to transition to, being an author and actually putting pen to pad and do a book?
I think, for my whole duration of my career, I was more so of an author because I did a lot of storytelling. And all my music was about things that I was going through in real time. I learned early on that, your words can transcend and people can feel them. What if I gave a book to the world that had some motivation in it?
What do you hope that they take from this book?
First thing is if I could do it, any of you could do it. You know what I'm saying? Just don't give up. Don't stop. It's the going through the hard times to get the better times, and that's what makes it worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? As long as you true to yourself and you true to your craft and you true to your vision, that's all that really matters, because at the end of the day, you only got one life, one body, one vehicle, to get you there. Y'all give it up for Cam for this legendary book cover right here. It's amazing when you can capture people in a way that they don't even see themselves. I was looking for a cover and they told me I'd come holler at you, and they was right.
It's beautiful to see y'all in the building today. Y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all here with us today, so we appreciate that. Man, today's gonna be special, man. We got an icon in the building, a legend, right here at Kirk Studios, and y'all all showed out for it, man. Just excited to have you, man. Before we really get started, man, I just want to say thank you, man.
Yeah, likewise, brother. Thank you, man. Y'all give it up for Cam for this legendary book cover right here. We did in the studio right here. I appreciate the inspiration, brother, and I love what you do, man. I think it's amazing when you can capture people in a way that they don't even see themselves. And look, I was looking for a cover and they told me I'd come holler at you, and I was like, the guy across from Magic City, that don't make sense.
Exactly.
Make it make sense. And they was right.
Nah, that's love, man. We got in here and we rocked out. Like I said, we did that shooting probably about 30 minutes, so that's
For
how
sure.
you know the energy
For sure.
is just right. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. I definitely want to get into this book and just get into just hearing a little bit more about the inspiration behind it and just the whole process. So
Right.
You've obviously been, telling stories and motivating us through your music for so long. But what made you want to transition to, being an author and actually putting pen to pad and do a book?
I think, for my whole duration of my career, I was more so of an author because I did a lot of storytelling. And all my music was about things that I was going through in real time or things that I already been through. And I learned early on that, your words can transcend and people can feel them. And, when you eight albums in, 25, 30 million records sold, you like, what's next? How do I keep this going? And for me, when the pandemic hit, I just had a lot of time to myself, so I just started, jotting down ideas. And I was like, it would really be dope if I could write a book, because around that time, somebody had gave me this book, Think and Grow Rich, and I was reading it cover to back, and I just kept reading. I was like, damn, like, what if I gave a book to the world that was about my story but had some motivation in it? And that was my mission, man. So I just really just started, piecing together the chapters, piecing together the stories to the best of my ability. And of course, I had to research a lot of things because a lot had went on with the time. And one thing about books, you got to be precise. So you got to put the times with the actual event. And then you got to run it through your lawyer because you don't want to be on this RICO shit. So it was that. There's that.
Yeah. It was definitely, I was reading, you said something about, it was cookies in the car. I said, cookies?
Yeah,
You
chocolate
got
chip.
Some chocolate chip cookies? I said, you did all that for some cookies? Damn. All right, I was like, I caught on. I'm like, all right, I see what's going on here.
For sure.
Nah, that's dope, and that's a special thing. Let's talk about the process. Like, did you find it to be much different than like writing rhymes? Because you used to write rhymes. You wasn't more of a freestyle, or at least at the beginning in the book you mentioned you used to write. Was that process similar to like writing this book?
Yeah, it's different because like when you write music, like music culturally is more flamboyant. You only talk about the good times, the good shit, the things you remember most, and it always sounds like you're on top. You know what I'm saying? And that's what music is. Nobody's gonna tell you they really just going through it. unless that's just their approach to their motivation. So you want to motivate people. And I think the difference was for me writing the book is I actually got to tell people about when they thought that I was on top and I was really at my lowest. You know what I'm saying? I got to go into how I felt, what I was going through, because a lot of people saw me out here really living a dream, but they had no idea I was, living a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? I was like really going through it personally. I had a bunch of demons I hadn't dealt with. I had vices that, now that I got, ain't like I ain't have money before, but now I can go buy the shit on my credit card. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Unlimited style, you know what I'm saying? Unlimited drinking, unlimited whatever. And, I had to battle that. And I had to battle that without a lot of support, because when you're the hero, everybody just wants you to show up and ball. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I had to deal with. And, writing the book, just brought back a lot of those memories. And I don't know if you know anything about me. I'm a big mental health advocate. And I thought I had done a lot of work to get to where I was at until I wrote that book and realized it was a gang of shit that I had to go deal with. So it was very therapeutic, you know what I'm saying? And it was also a chance for me to tell my truth to the best of my ability. Because a song is 3 minutes, and in a book you got a chance to sit there and actually be with your feelings and live with it and walk away from it and come back. And to me that was special, because a lot of those things that happened in that book I hadn't dealt with, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of it I didn't process it, you know what I'm saying, because it happened so fast. And when it's like you in it and you making history, you don't know you making history, you're gonna make some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do some things that you can't take back. And I got a chance to see that, because on the outside looking in, everybody just think you're great.
Yeah.
They just think you're amazing. And they don't know the shit that you've done or the shit you had to deal with. So that book was like, that was my chance to like talk to Jay, Jeezy Jenkins, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just Snowman. You feel me?
I definitely felt like it was very vulnerable. I mean, it took about 6 or 7 chapters just to get out of your childhood. I mean, the beginning was just like stuff that I don't think a lot of us or a lot of people knew about. I don't want to give the book away too much, so I'm gonna let y'all read it. But I just thought that was pretty dope. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of us could piece together what we know since we've heard of you as Jeezy and kind of piece the story together. But I like that it spent a lot of time at the early parts of your life. Yeah,
to just just to kind of shape it up, because my vision was a lot bigger than a lot of the people that I grew up with, because I had seen the world early on. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I knew there was beaches. I couldn't tell my homeboys in Mechanicsville and all the different places. They like, nigga, what you talking about? I'm like, these beaches and, different type of people. And it was just like, for me, it just gave me a head start on what a vision is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make sure that I connected that, because for you to dream big and visualize big, sometimes you got to see things that people don't normally see, whatever that is for you. And for me, it was just knowing that there was a whole world out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love most about this book is just the title you chose, Adversity for Sale.
Yes, sir.
And I know for a lot of people it can have a lot of different meanings. I know when I saw that title and even when I read the book, I connected a lot with just like I always tell my stories like a series of no's. Like, that's how I got here. It's like a ping ponging around with no's. Like, you think you're supposed to do this and that never happens. You think you're going to do this, that never happens. You think you're going to do this, never happens.
Right.
And how you're able to turn that adversity into success.
Right.
What was the meaning behind the book the book title for you, and why'd you go with that title?
Well, several, because you just said something that's real. Like everything that I started out doing that didn't go right led me to a different path. They opened me up to different things that I wouldn't have tried if things would have went right. So I felt that there was a sign in that. And one thing I did learn is I was very, very smart, very disciplined when I was in the streets. Like, I would arguably say that I was the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't get caught up, and I didn't get, I just didn't get caught up in what was going on, because I knew there was a bigger picture and I had a goal, right? I wasn't the guy that was in Magic City just wearing a chain because it said Jeezy to be Jeezy. I was, in my mind, promoting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was branding myself. I was going there making sure they played my music, because in my mind, this is my job. I'm doing my job here. I'm not going in here to solicit. I'm going in here to come up, right? And all the money that I spent, I felt like it was marketing. But then all the losses that I took, I felt like there was lessons because I started to learn things by losing that I couldn't have learned any other way. And I used to tell my grandmother all the time, like, because she used to tell me all the time, boy, you going to jail, this going to happen, that going to happen. And everything she said that was going to happen never happened. But she didn't get a chance to see my success. And the one thing that I did learn throughout my success is I didn't win my way to winning. I actually lost my way to winning. You know what I'm saying? Because I lost so much that I learned so much that when it was time to overcome an obstacle, I actually got good at it. Yeah. Because I knew there was going to be another one after that, so I was ready. So if I could just get past this, then I'll be ready for that. And that's just how I live my life. And I started to notice something, even in my music. It wasn't me wearing the Rolexes and all the diamonds. It was me actually dodging the obstacles that people were into. Because it's like, how is he doing that? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm a student, so I studied the game. I studied the streets. I studied music. I love Tupac. I love hustlers. I saw, you know, some of the most magical moments in Atlanta, you know, through these lenses. And I learned from it. And the thing that I knew that I had that a lot of people didn't have to do what I do is they didn't have that resilience to keep going and to take the losses and to actually fall in love with the journey. And I'm sitting there and I'm going like, if you was motivating the thugs, and I told them I was a corporate thug when I came out, like I wasn't no denying that. And I told them I was thug motivating, I told them I was inspiring. And I'm sitting back and I'm like, well, damn, all I'm telling them is how I'm losing the win. So shit, if that's the case, I might as well be selling adversity. Because I'm sold everything else. So I gotta sell adversity. I gotta tell them about the times that I lost. Because the reality of it was I was winning. Yeah. Yeah.
I think a lot of people in the room can relate to that.
Of course.
And I think the key point that you said is just the ones that don't quit actually get to see the sell and see it through.
And by the way, if I could say anything, that's the only job you got in life. That's it. Just don't quit. That's it. It's going to happen the way it's going to happen. You know, and the reason why I started, and it's crazy because, you know, this is so real because where I ended the book off, if I look out this window behind me, I see the place. Mm-hmm. And that's where it started at. Exactly. So this is full circle moment. But I ended it there because that place was a special place. That's why I started. But that's also why I started the next chapter of my life. You know what I'm saying? The elevation of. That's where I left the snowman at. And I became Jeezy Jenkins from that point because I had to make a decision that was going to change lives. And it was probably one of the first unselfish decisions I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? Because it could have been, I could have lost again. You know what I'm saying? And some people might think that. But in my mind, I knew I was ready to go to this next chapter. And this next chapter was right here in front of you.
Man, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing for sure. Tell me about, when did you start to actually realize like adversity is actually a good thing? Was there a moment that you can be like, oh, your mentality shifted from some of those losses?
I mean, because, you know, when you coming up, you know, you just taught to be a man, stay tough, you know, stay down, stay solid, stay real, all the things, you know what I'm saying? And you're looking for something, you know, outside of you for adversity. And when I realized that the adversity was inward, that's when it changed. Yeah. Because it's all mental. You know, you got to separate fact from feelings. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to navigate in a world where there's gonna be obstacles and all these things, and it's like, you know, like basketball. If you play it enough, you become good. And it's like, I can't play basketball, so none of the girls like me for playing basketball. But I know how to get to some money though. Yeah, yeah. And that was my thing. I was good at solving problems. I'm good at staying calm in situations that are chaotic because I've been in them before. So that's my superpower. And when I realized that, I'm like, look, I'm going to stay 10 toes down. I don't know nothing about nothing else. Yeah. But I can tell you about survival. And that's my thing. And that's why adversity was something that I had to stand on. Like my boy King said, I had to stand on business. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I know about that. And I don't know how many people that do what I do actually know about it, because it wasn't the songs, it wasn't the cars, it wasn't the videos, it wasn't none of that got me to where I'm at right now. It was the fact that I wouldn't let up. I wouldn't give up. I wouldn't lay down. I wouldn't bend. I wouldn't fold. I wouldn't break. And to me, when you look at adversity, I want you to think about me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's real.
Because that's the brand that I live. Right.
Man, I love that reading the book, like, you really took me to a time period in Atlanta that I wasn't born here, so I'm born in Maryland, if y'all don't know. I moved here in 07. So you were at the height of, you're part of the reason I moved here. You feel me, man? That blue Lamborghini.
Yes, sir.
See that floating through the streets.
Yes, sir.
And everybody knew that was Jeezy car. Like, but during that time, just reading the book and hearing the names and the way that all of you guys were intertwined, you know what I mean? From getting a show mix and this DJ drama, you know what I mean? Getting beats from Lil Jon, or he's in the club, and meeting so many, icons and legends. What was, for those who may not have been here in Atlanta during that time, what was that like? Like, what was that?
Man, it was infectious. It was I mean, it was like it was like Wakanda. Like, everybody had it. Everybody, right? You know what I'm saying? It was like if you was in that ecosystem, and you had resources and you had relationships, like, you was in. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like everything was there, right? And like, I literally watched one night when they ran out of Cristal in Quavo is 1800.
Mm-hmm.
And when the promoter Alex came up, he said, "Yo, we don't got it, because you getting 300-400 bottles of Cristal a night." And he walk up and he say, "We don't got any more Cristal or Quavo, but I got this Perrier Juliet and this new thing called Patron." I watched it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I saw it. And I'm like, all right, cool, we'll do that.
Wow.
And we started drinking Patron at that moment. And I watched Lil Jon see it, talk about it, and then the world took it.
Wow.
I literally was, shout out to DJ Nando. I don't know if y'all know him. I would literally walk in the club. Now, mind you, I'm not trying to take nobody else's fame, because everybody had their own money and everybody did their own thing. You know what I'm saying? But I would literally walk in the club, with a satchel bag, you know what I'm saying? 150, 200,000. Blow it. You're right. And you talking 10, 15, 20 people doing that every night.
Wow.
But I'm not saying it to say that. Now, when I watch a Super Bowl commercial and I see Aflac making light or making it rain, I got to think about Magic City. Like, that shit came from there. That's culture. But you seeing all this happen in real time. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to go back to, how you see the next generation. I got to give it to them too, because we did it big, but them niggas lost their mind. Like, them niggas, instead of like 10 cars, they got 50. You know what I'm saying? Instead of 10 chains, they got 30 of them. You know what I mean? But I watched that happen in these two doors behind us, and in this city, from Visions to 112 to all these different clubs. And this is the key part about it, Kirk. We didn't understand that we was making history. We were just doing what this city gave you the opportunity to do. And, DJ Drama's from Philly. Imagine that. Yeah. Don Cannon's from Philly. Shorty Red is from Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's from all these different places, but they came to this one city to make magic. And if you want to, I don't want to sound corny, but if I had to describe it, I would describe it as magic. It was magic, brother.
No, I think it's dope, and I wanted to point that out. You just answered, which my follow-up was, did you guys know you were making history?
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't. I feel like I have a similar story, because I feel like I was a part of the second renaissance again when the internet really took off and social media. And then now I look around at my friends, and it's Metro Boomin, it's
Yes, sir.
Quavo and
Yep.
Migos.
Yep.
It's Rich Homie Quan, and it's like a whole nother wave.
Yep.
And a lot of people that look at my work and they be like, man, you shoot celebrities, and I'm like,
Your homeboys.
they wasn't celebrities when I started. Like I didn't
Your
think
partners.
I ain't think of it that way. And then even at that time when I look back, it was like, man, I wish I knew we were about to all be where we're at now. Like, you know.
But that's the beauty of it. You know, you're not supposed to know, and I hope each and every one of y'all know that. You know, whatever you're going through right now, that's what you're going through right now. You're not supposed to know, because if you know, you might make a decision that's going to derail that. It's already written. You know, because again, you know, I was making music to get out of my situation, right? I didn't know I was going to touch the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know my struggle was going to impact people. I'm just trying not to go to prison.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So imagine if I knew I wasn't going to go to prison, I don't know if I would have handled it the same. You know what I'm saying? So
that's real.
You're not supposed to know, and that's the beauty of it. And as I look around, I'm going to be honest, like, ain't no city doping in Atlanta. I don't, you know, no disrespect from where nobody from, but you can come here and do it if you about that life.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
That's real.
For sure.
Nah, that's why I wanted to bring that up. It's like I always say, anytime we have events here, it's always easy to look at the stage or look who's in front of you, but y'all got to look at who's around you, because that's literally, you know, part of our story. And what we did, it was the people around us locally that, you know, came up with us. Like you mentioned, you paid DJ Drama $100 for a show, like to do work with you. It's like, wow, $1,000 for the mixtape. It's like, you never know who's that next person with you in the room or next to you. And a lot of time the magic can be created within you guys, for sure. And even speaking on that note, one of the things I was super like intrigued and inspired by was before we even got to the debut album on Def Jam, the amount of relationships you built with just legends, icons, different individuals. Like, I mean, that's a whole technique into relationship building, and I know you could teach.
Right.
What was it like? What were you doing, and how were people just gravitating to you so much? And then at the same time, what advice do you have for people that might be in this audience that are looking to network and build? Like, how would you encourage them to build in this day and age?
Well, from back to front, like, networking is the way. You know, and they always say your network is your net worth. And I'll tell you, I got a partner right now, I love him to death. Like, he's the biggest connector I know. And I always tell him, bro, like, you ain't got to never worry about being broke. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you whatever you striving for, you already worth that, because the way you build these relationships and the way you put these people together, nobody's going to ever forget what you've done for them, right? Because you connected people that couldn't connect. And you build these real relationships where people actually have trust for you, and they trust your word, and they do business based on who you are as a person. And that's a gift within itself. And sometimes you don't have to be, you know, you can be the visionary. You don't have to be the executor. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just might need somebody to help you connect the dots, and maybe you're the executor, or maybe you're the visionary, and they go back and forth. But the reality is, you know, if I didn't have nothing else in the streets, I put myself in the mix of enough people that anything I needed was a phone call away. And that was literally. And my reputation was so good because in the streets I understood my name wasn't affiliating with taking, robbing, running off on nobody, none of that. I just young guy out here getting some money, and I mind my business, and everybody knew that about me, and I looked the part, you know what I'm saying? And nobody really knew anything about me because they just knew that I was getting money, and that worked for me. And to answer your question about, you know, why was I like that and able to do that, I understood two things. The first thing is I understood is that you couldn't do it by yourself. It's not going to happen. With that being said, coming from humble beginnings, you're going to run into situations that it don't work out. So I would advise any of you, no matter who you're dealing with, just make sure the business and the paperwork is right. Because it always get complicated when the money comes. Yeah. Care how much you love them, who they are. It could be your cousin. You know what I'm saying? It could be your brother. When that money comes, it just get different. you know, and I'm at fault for that as well because, you know, I'm a street guy. I think everybody's word is their bond, just like they would think my word is my bond, but sometimes it don't work out like that. But to answer your question, there's one thing that I did know, last but not least, is that it takes a village, right? And it takes everybody that's involved with the same common goal, and that's to succeed, no matter on what level it's on. So the reason why I was affiliating myself with all these people is because I saw in them what they saw in me, that I was relentless and I was going to do everything to achieve what I was trying to achieve. And when I saw that quality in other people, that means we had something in common, right? And that's what we related on. And I could have looked at Drama and knew that he was going to be a different type of DJ. I could look at Nando when we had conversations and knew he was going to be a different type of person. Like, I ran around with 2 Chainz when he was Titty Boy. I knew what that was going to be. You see what I'm saying? Not because he was just a dope MC, because he was just dope as a person. You feel what I'm saying? And you can't knock that. And I learned that in the streets. It's discernment. It's like, I'm not going to hang around them niggas if they robbing. Because shit, they going to want to rob me next. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So, and the same thing, you know, you want to hang around people that are like-minded. So all these people that I affiliate myself with, at some point in time, we were like-minded. And I would suggest wherever you're trying to get to, you know, just make sure that you're affiliating and building your relationships with people who are like-minded.
That's real. That's
yes,
real
sir.
right there. I want to definitely give you guys a chance to meet him, so I'm going to wrap it up here with this last question. What do you hope that, you know, a lot of us today, they might be getting the book for the first time, about to go home and read it. What do you hope that they take from this book?
I mean, first thing is, if I could do it, any of you could do it. You know what I'm saying? The second thing is, you know, just don't give up. Don't stop. Don't stop swinging. You stop swinging, you get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? And life is a struggle, and that's the beauty of it. You know, you can't fall in love with the destination, because who knows where that's going to be. It's the journey. You know what I'm saying? It's the everyday. It's the day-to-day. It's the figuring it out. It's the going through the hard times to get the better times, and that's what makes it worthwhile. And while you're doing it, you know what I'm saying, just stay solid and true to yourself, because everybody ain't going to like you or what you do. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as you true to yourself and you true to your craft and you true to your vision, that's all that really matters, because in the end of the day, you only got one life, one body, one vehicle, you know, to get you there. So you got to take care of you and all your mental, you know what I'm saying? Because like my grandma Matt Lou used to tell me, you can't make everybody happy. It ain't going to work. So just take care of you, because when 2 people are in charge, everybody die. You know what I'm saying? And I just tell you, just don't stop. No matter what, just don't stop.
Man, I love that. Y'all make some
For
noise
sure.
for Jeezy, man.